Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today I'm going to show you the navigation setup for departure in the FOKKER 28 tutorial series. A very quick recap: if you watched the previous video a little bit in the past, we are sitting at Düsseldorf Airport and we are going to fly via the Cola 5 Tango departure towards Cola VOR, on towards Frankfurt Main VOR, down to Luburg, and then we'll fly an ILS approach for runway 25. So, the charts in this video currently sponsored by Navigraph, and I can absolutely recommend you to get Navigraph charts when you want to fly the FOKKER 28, due to its style as a 1960s aircraft. You have an option available for GNS 530 that you can put in the spot for the weather radar, but if you ask me, that kinda takes away some of the fun of flying in conventional aircraft. So for that reason, I'm going to use conventional navigation today, and we are going to go ahead and set that up. So first of all, let's have a look into the electronic flight bag. You can show and hide it with the air vent down here. There is a hidden click spot on this one. So, charts for today, and we have the Cola 5 Tango departure from Düsseldorf's runway 23 left. The wind is coming straight from the nose at 15 knots, gusting 25 today, so it's going to be an easy departure. So, what do we need to look out for? Well, first of all, we've got to see what kind of equipment do we have available in order to fly this SID. Now, checking this, we have two radios, which only have an active frequency, no standby. By the way, looking at your radios, you always want to make sure that the DME button down here is switched on. So you have two active radios. And then we have two ADFs. One is down here, ADF number 2. The other is on the left, ADF number 1. Finally, we have the two course selectors and the heading bug. And do note that we can change our HSIs around from nav1 to nav2. So both sides are able to display both radios, which makes our life a little bit easier. Next to that, we have our autopilot and flight director controls, which are going to be less relevant for this video. Going down into the instrument panel, we have an HSI, which includes a DME on the top over here. And then we have our conventional little device. Now, on this one, you can select what you want to see. So basically, right now it's set to display the VOR on both sides, but you can, for example, switch it like this. Then you have VOR number 1 and ADF number 2. Or you can switch it like this for both ADFs. ADF 1, VOR 2, and back to both VORs. We also have a digital DME indicator up here, which displays the offside DME. So, if your HSI is selected to VOR DME number 1, then on here you're going to see VOR DME number 2, and the other way around. So, that is the conventional setup that we have available in order to fly our aircraft. Now let's have a look at the standard instrument departure. And we can see by looking on the chart, Cola 5 Tango departure, runway 23 left, initial climb clearance 5,000 feet, so make sure you've got 5,000 in the altitude selected down here. Now let's have a very quick look into the textual description, and thereafter we look at the map in order to see what we want to do. So here's how the SID is to be flown. Intercept the 232 bearing from runway 23 left towards Delta Yankee. At 4.5 dm Düsseldorf, turn left on a 173 heading towards 21.5 dme from Nürnberg VOR. Then turn left, intercept Gemminghausen radial 265 inbound to 32 dme. Turn right, 103 track to intercept Cola radial 327 inbound to Cola. And this is what it looks like when we check it on the map. And we can see we go straight ahead towards Delta Yankee 284.5. Then make a left-hand turn onto a heading of 173 until we're at 21.5 dme November Victor Oscar. November Victor Oscar is actually located down here and has a frequency of 16.2. Then we make a left-hand turn inbound to Gemminghausen on the radial 265, which equals a bearing of 085. until 32 DME, where we make the right hand turn onto 103 heading, and then intercept the radial 327 inbound, which equals the bearing of 147 towards Charlie Oscar Lima, Cola VOR. So how can we possibly set this up? Well, let's start easy. We know what we need. We need the Düsseldorf DME, upon which this turn is based, and we can use the Düsseldorf NDB for 284.5. However, here's a quick word on the NDBs. NDBs are notoriously difficult to tune on these selectors. So if we take 284.5, we can switch it up, but we cannot receive them on the ground. So that makes it almost impossible for us to actually tune the NDB correctly. So somewhere like this should be 284.5. Obviously in real life you would simply wait until you get a signal over here, and then you know, okay, I found my NDB. However, in the simulator that doesn't really work. So for that reason, let's try to fly the airplane without NDBs as much as possible. So for that we go back into the chart once more, and we can see that we basically got Düsseldorf VOR over here, and 232 more or less is extended from Düsseldorf VOR. So how about we take that as a replacement? So Düsseldorf 15.15, 232, and we can use that either in VOR1 or VOR2. Now what I'm going to do is the following. I want to navigate on VOR1, so I'm going to use that in VOR number 1, and then I'll use the Nürnberg VOR in the number 2 for our DME. So let's set that up. We need Düsseldorf 1515, like this, and then a course of 232. Set on our left side, and then make sure that the nav1 button is pressed. So this is what nav2 would look like, this is nav1, and you've got the light illuminated next to it. From here on, this is our HSI setup. We can also go ahead and select the heading buck to our runway heading, which is going to be 232. Like so. Now, we need to define our turn. That is done based on Düsseldorf DME, which we got up here. Once again, make sure that the DMEs are selected up here, otherwise you are not going to get any indication. Next is going to be a left turn heading 173, so we can fly that on the heading buck, until 21.5 DME from Nürnberg, which we have on the chart down here. So I'm going to use Nürnberg 16.2 in the nav2. 16.2, and obviously we do not receive that on the ground. For that reason we don't get any indications over here, because the VOR is just too far away from our airport. After that comes a left-hand turn onto a 085 bearing inbound to Golf Mike Hotel 15.4. We cannot pre-select that. For that reason our setup is finished up here. However, what we can do is we have two options. We still have a course selector left, the course number 2. We can either pre-select this to a course of 085 over here, or we could pre-select the 173 as a reminder, and that is indeed what I'm going to do. So I'm going to set course number 2 onto 173 as a reminder that after I have flown this towards 4.5 DME, I need to set the heading back to 173. So here's my plan for flying the departure. I'm going to intercept the 232 radial outbound Düsseldorf VOR until 4.5 miles, which is basically over here the Delta Yankee NDB. Then use the heading buck to make the left turn onto 173 heading. And while we're on that heading, I'm going to pre-select the Golf Mike Hotel 15.4 with the 085 on the left course. And then, when passing 21.5 DME November Victor Oscar, I will have my nav1 prepared for the turn over here, and then can use the autopilot's beam mode in order to intercept this radial after passing 21.5 DME. And that's basically how easy it is. Once we're established on the inbound over here, we then need to decide on what we need next. So obviously we need Golf Mike Hotel. So we are going to follow this until 32 DME Gold Mike Hotel. Then make a right hand turn on the heading bug, giving us a heading of 103. And once we're established inbound over here, I'm going to pre-select nav 2 to my Cola VOR down here with a course of 147. But we can only do this in the air since we only have 2 radios available in this airplane and we are using them to define our initial departure. And that is basically the entire setup that we need to do for our navigation. So let's quickly cross-check our panel once more. We've got Düsseldorf VOR, we've got the 232 radial selected, the heading bug is set to the runway heading initially, and then we got 173 pre-selected as a reminder for our left-hand turn with Nervenich VOR set on number 2, and we're going to see that up here for our actual turn. So with that, our nav setup is pretty much completed. On the first officer side, it is the same thing. So we are pretty much good to go now. And that is our nav setup completed. I hope you could follow this one. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And I'm looking forward to see you guys exploring the ways of conventional navigation over the next couple of days. In the meantime, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something on this tutorial, and if you did, do let me know in the comments. Like, comment and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. And finally, if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below, or to welcome you as a channel member, giving you exclusive early access to new videos. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.